Hello everybody, my name is Ethos, and welcome back to In a Nutshell. Today we're going to be talking about Hydroid. Well, Hydroid Prime, but still Hydroid. So taking a quick look here, you can see that Hydroid has no extra forma on him, but this is definitely not what you're going to be seeing for a normal Hydroid's polarities. Otherwise, he has a good amount of armor, good amount of energy and health, good shields, good sprint speed. He's all around kind of a really nicely even, but semi-tanky frame. I'm also running him with the arc of Plasmor, which you get in the Energy Lab at the dojo. Kind of considered one of the best weapons for shotguns in the game, besides the Tiger's Prime. And that's because of 600 radiation damage with a 28% chance of status and a 22% chance to crit. Fantastic amounts. Now, we'll go ahead and we will generate our normal level 30 enemies. There we go. And I'll showcase some of Hydroid's abilities. So Hydroid's first ability is kind of a neat one. It's called Tempest Barrage. So basically you target an area, calls on a barrage, and basically these water bombs hit the ground and destroy stuff. You can charge it for having a longer duration, which is kind of cool. And I will show you his passive in a little bit here. So the radius is 10 meters, duration of 5 seconds, good amount of damage, and good amount of explosion radius. So they act like micro water bombs. So you can either be pressed, or you can press and hold, and it'll actually show you the radius it's going to affect, and then release. Which increases both its duration and its damage, by the way. So these poor guys are dead. So we'll go ahead and simulate them again. And grab our energy. So the next ability Hydroid has is a tidal wave. He makes himself into a tidal surge. He turns himself into a wall of water, moves forward at a good speed, does damage, and of course there's the range. So 14 meters. And they all get knocked off. So it doesn't do that much damage, but it does do a lot of displacement, which is one of the key reasons why Hydroids run the ability. I'll actually quickly pick up my favorite slam weapon. Where is it? The Volnus. There it is. Okay. So we'll resimulate them again. And then I'll show you his third ability. His third ability is interesting. Yes, he is turned into a puddle, and he is now drowning the people in it. So his third ability is Undertow. He becomes a water trap and drowns unsuspecting enemies. It does a damage increase per second. It increases his energy per target, and has a nice little grab range or radius. And if he moves, it increases the amount of time or amount of energy he uses. See, watch, my energy is increasing. There's actually a really cool modification with that, by the way. But as you can see, it's actually quite a lethal ability, even at base levels. Next, we'll see his fourth ability. His fourth ability, a lot of people know it. It's pretty iconic. It is also a reference from, the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Release the Kraken. As you can see, even dead, it ragdolls their bodies like limp sticks, and it's kind of funny to watch. And yes, by the way, you can actually charge the skill and make it have a larger range of effect. As you can see, it deals, once again, more damage and deals larger area. So if I was to summon these guys back right now, you would see them die. Now, many people focus primarily on this fourth ability because it's very useful for getting extra loot out of missions, which I will explain when we look at his augments for his skills. So you look at his tentacle swarm, the number of tentacles is 10, a good radius, damage, and duration. You can actually do something kind of cool, and you can, it says charge, so you increase the number of tentacles, and if you use well an undertow, which you can do, you can have the tentacles emerge from your location, which I will showcase right now. So, we'll simulate them again. I will go into my undertow mode, and I will charge this bad boy up. See, I am now a roaming tentacle mob. I should have gotten a little bit closer before I use this skill. Oops. But as you can see, it's a great way of directing your tentacles. So his kit actually works fairly well together. Now, another part of his kit, of course, is his passive. And his passive states that occasionally when he slams the ground, he generates a tentacle. So yes, you can generate tentacle after tentacle after tentacle. And just kind of go on a good old-fashioned tentacle fun. Now, a lot of people will say that's a kind of a creepy thing to say, but still actually relatively true when it comes to Hydroid. Hydroid is, like I mentioned before, he's a very tanky frame. He can be used for a lot of things. You know, modifying him, you can modify him for a lot of things. I usually modify him for increased duration and efficiency. Strength, not so much. Range, also not so much. Don't really need them. But when you're focusing on his aura, I don't remember if his aura is actually dash polarity or if it's blank when it's on his normal form. But you can run things like energy siphon, steel charge, or, you know, shield disruption, stuff like that. And then when it comes to his V slots, you want to run things like, of course, Intensify again and Continuity, giving yourself a little bit more strength, but a little bit more duration. And this is if you want to be using his skills more for killing. But as you saw with his Undertow, really not that necessary. So you can just do that instead. In your Vizarin tree, most people I tell them to do Vitality because he's a fairly health conscious, or you can do Steel Fiber and give him more armor than he has health, which makes him pretty damn tanky. Once you move past there, you can go to Naramon. Naramon, of course, is your general energy ones. You can flow. You put flow on him to give him some extra time in his bubble or whatever else you want to do. Streamline for more efficiency. Stretch for more range. Duration for a little bit more duration. But once again, I always encourage people to run efficiency and duration heavy on Hydroid. Range a little bit, and then otherwise whatever else you want to throw on there. So I have him maxed out, obviously, and a catalyst and, you know, an aura. So there's a lot I can put on him. And so this is what an economy build for me would look like, is something along these lines. This is not including anything that would be super hard to get. Natural talent is fairly common that I've seen as far as I know. And then, of course, these are all, you know, these are rare mobs, but they're kind of common rares. So beyond that, the Archiplasmor, you're looking at a weapon that should be primarily done for damage and for status. Some people might go, oh no, you can do crit chance. You can. But it's just a better option of doing all kinds of damage, multi-shot. You know, I'll show you, and then it should be fully explainable. 96.6% chance of status, corrosive, radiation, and blast. And if I could put the next one on there, I'd be putting vicious. I already have vicious spread, so I mean, you really don't have much more to do besides maybe chilling reload, or I don't know, maybe throw on a seeking force or vigilante armaments or something like that for more multi-shot. You can get up to 99.9% status or 100% status on this gun. It is ridiculous how much this can do. And I will showcase that along with everything else. And I think the Volnus I already had modded. Yep, I did. So we'll quickly show off what this can do on level 30 enemies, then we'll bump it up a little bit. So again, the Archiplasmor, ladies and gentlemen. there's not much left of these enemies. It's considered one of the best, like I said, it's considered one of the best shotguns in the game. It really does live up to its hype, and it is one of the strongest weapons when modded correctly. Now, a lot of the mods I was using on it are mods that you won't find unless you're doing a lot of nightmare modes. So more likely than not, you'll probably be running something along the lines of, let's see here, Vigilante Armaments if you can find it. Probably running into Shotgun Spaz for fire rate, Point Blank for damage. Maybe increase your status chance with the Shotgun Savvy, or just focus on giving yourself a little bit more critical chance, because that critical chance can save your life when you're looking at, early gameplay. And then I'd probably run things like this to give myself. Oh, wait, yeah, I do Contagious Spread, give myself some Toxin, and then if I had the lightning, anything for electricity, I would do electricity, which I think I don't have the charged shell. So then, yeah, putting in charged shell to give myself a corrosive damage, because it would be super, super useful for radiation and corrosive. So this would be kind of my economy build for the Arca Plasmor. And it would work only if you have it catalyzed. It won't work otherwise unless you format it a lot. So we'll bump up the enemies here, I would say, to 100. We'll probably be fine. And the reason why I say 100 is because even this economy build can do some really serious damage to level 100 enemies. I mean, look at that. Some pretty serious damage. So then we'll summon them one more time, and then we'll go ahead and show his abilities and how well they work against level 100s, and then we'll also go ahead and do as you can see, it actually increases the amount of damage they take, and I can even further increase that by barraging. So as you can see, at level 100, modded out economically, with minimal mods, he can actually kill level 100s if he knows what he's doing. So I'll quickly now go out and I'll go ahead to my orbiter, and I will show you his modifications you can get for him for the augments, and I'll also show you where you can pick him up. So his augments, pretty simple. You get his augments, I believe, through Arbiters of Hexus. Unless I'm really wrong. I am really wrong. Is it still Meridian?
Here's what we can do for you.
Nope. Then it has to be Suda. Because I can get his augments, so they have to be here somewhere. Ah, here they are. So you have Corroding Barrage, which each projectile has a 100% chance of affecting a corrosive status effect. This makes Hydroid able to crush through high armor enemies like butter. Tidal Impunity, which clears status effects and grants 6 seconds of proc immunity to yourself and allies. It's a great way of, your enemies have slash effects on them, or viral effects, or proxin. You can just impunity it away. It's all cured. Curative Undertow, which gives you the ability to regenerate enemy allies' health. 30% of their health every 1.5 seconds, with each ally increasing the pool drain on Hydroid. Increasing your efficiency reduces that, of course. And then finally, Pilfering Swarm, which most people consider to be the #1 most used mod on Hydroid because it lets him greatly affect survival spawn rates for life support, and also really affect the way that he deals with farming just in general. Mutagen samples, bring a Hydroid, bring in Necros. It's this kind of, it's farming for neural sensors, bring a Hydroid with Pilfering Swarm. He's always used for his Pilfering Swarm, almost hands down all the time. So now where do you pick Hydroid up? Well, it's pretty easy. You go to Earth, and it's been a long time since you guys have been there, but Earth, and you go to Oro. You assassinate Vayhek and his Terra frame. It is one of the most annoying boss fights. Just no, don't want to talk to you. One of the most annoying boss fights, but it is the only way to get all three of Hydroid's parts: his head, his chassis, and his systems. And then, like any other normal frame, well, I say normal, but any of the basic frames, you can pick up his blueprint through here. As you see, as such. Then you build him, and then you're good to go. So everyone, I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you have, leave like, subscribe if you want to see more, or comment in the comment section. If you didn't like it, leave a comment. Let me know what I'm doing right or wrong, and I will hopefully be able to change a little bit by the next time you see another video. So thank you everybody so much for watching, and I will see you all again next time. Bye, everybody.